Hello to you beautiful people. My name is Noa Lakshmi and I'm here to elevate humanity for a better world. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are a new viewer here to my channel, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to my channel. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I truly appreciate the support. And if you'd like to know more about me and the work that I do in the world, then check out my website, noalakshmi.com, where I offer soul signature astrology readings, personal readings, and so much more. And I will talk about that more at the end of the video. But let's just dive into what's happening. And actually, before we dive right into it, I would like to extend my prayers and my love, sending my light to the world right now and to humanity. There's a lot of shifts occurring in the collective and big events that are taking place. Some of the events are very unpleasant, quite painful, quite hard, quite challenging right now. And I just want to start this update by extending my prayers to the world right now and to humanity, and to you and to all of us. There's, like I said, some challenging times that we are experiencing with hurricanes and floods and big fires here in North America, and I know a lot of people are experiencing very challenging times, a lot of loss and a lot of pain that we are experiencing in the collective. And that one of the reasons why I love astrology so much, and I use astrology individually and to really see what's happening in the collective, is that the cosmos just reflect to us what's occurring, especially collectively, what's happening to us as humanity, what's happening on the planet, because the planet is a living entity, it's a living body, it's a living organism. And not that it makes any of those events easier to digest or to handle, but it does give us a better understanding, and the cosmos just help us navigate through the experience of life. And so that's why I'm here. And before we go into all the astrology, I really did want to express that for all of you that are watching, and for all of us to remember to just hold each other and hold humanity and hold our planet in our heart, and to keep the faith strong, and to really believe, and to really envision, to keep envisioning, and to move towards a greater reality, a better reality that we'd like to create together. And I'm going to talk about that here in this update, because it's so present, it's so alive for me and for many of us. And amidst everything that is occurring, everything that is happening, we got to keep our head above water by staying strong, by staying courageous, by walking the talk, by really living and being the change that we wish to see in the world. And we're going to talk about that today. So we're going to talk about the new moon that is coming next week, a little bit of what has been taking place in the last few days, and there we'll just see where it goes. I never really know how those updates are going to turn out to be, except for some bullet points that I know I want to talk about. So today is Thursday, September 14th, 2017. And the last few days have been holy tamale, with the sun squaring Saturn. That's always a pretty tough placement that we can feel. And the fact that we're already in the midst of such digestion and integration phase, I would call it, after the eclipses and after the month of August. I talked about that last week. There's so many pieces that are slowly are coming to starting to come together, starting to make somehow sense. We are starting to see directions and potentials, and what it is that we want to change in our lives, what adjustments that we need to make in our lives. And so sun squaring Saturn yesterday on Wednesday, that always brings out the tough decisions that we need to make. Saturn is kind of like the reality check and the lessons that we sometimes need to go through in order to have that reality check. Especially with the sun in Virgo now, it's reality. It really is reality. It's your day-to-day life. It's your purpose. It's how to be of service. Sun in Virgo is so much about being of service and how to be of service. how to be of service doesn't mean that you need to sacrifice. We are looking at Chiron in Pisces still, and this whole time, the last few years of Chiron in Pisces and Neptune is in Pisces, can very much be the sacrificer. Like if I sacrifice myself, if I sacrifice my truth, what's true to me, what's real for me, what I need, what are my desires, how I feel, if I sacrifice all that, that means I'm in service. And when you do the reality check, is that really true? If you sacrifice your health, if you sacrifice your well-being, if you sacrifice all that is true for you, are you really of service? That's the question to ask ourselves these days, and to really make some decisions that support you, that support your health, that support your well-being, and to know that you can be of service without sacrificing yourself to a degree sometimes where you do lose your well-being, that you do create more stress for yourself, you do create more ill-being than well-being. And so Sun squaring Saturn is hard decisions that we need to make. And Saturn in Sagittarius is your truth. Where is your growth? Where is your expansion? Are you still growing in your life? Is sacrificing your health, is sacrificing yourself, is really helping you to grow, is really helping you to expand? Is there a way to adjust? And there's always a way. It's just a matter of priorities. And that's what, we're going into this new moon on Tuesday. And before we get there to the new moon on Tuesday, we have another conjunction of Mars and Mercury. This time around, Mars and Mercury are conjuncting. We're going to feel this conjunction for the next week, a little bit over a week, and we've been feeling it this whole time, even though it hasn't been exact all the time. Mercury just went direct last week, and so they're meeting again. Mercury meeting again after Mercury stood still, stationed right on the point where the eclipse occurred back in August. Now it's moving forward. Now it's back to Virgo. It's meeting Mars again in Virgo in a direct motion. Priorities. Again, how are you prioritizing your life? Your day-to-day reality. Reality check is really screaming at us right now. And that can bring about some frustration. With Mars and Mercury conjuncting, even though it's pretty grounded, and that's the saving grace, so to speak, that it's happening in Earth sign. So there is some groundedness to this conjunction. Nevertheless, in Virgo, it can be very nitpicky and really dissecting the details. And that can be a great thing. That can be a really great thing. And that's the thing, with all the signs, with all the planets, with everything that occur, there's no good or bad, never. There's no negative and positive. There's always several ways that whatever is happening in the cosmos can express itself. And we can experience the extreme of one side or the other side. And what's important is to really find the balance. Jupiter is still in Libra. The growing through finding balance is very predominant right now, is very felt, okay? And so with Mars conjuncting Mercury in Virgo, it can very much be the dissecting, the overly perfectionist, to really dig into every single detail for yourself in your own life, and then in dealings with others and other situations, that it's almost too much, and that can bring about frustration. And that can be like Mars conjunct Mercury, frustration that can bring about some volatile or even explosive conversations, communications, exchanges, when there's too much nitpicking, when there's too much focusing on this is right now, and I don't like it, and it needs to be better, and it needs to be more perfect, again, for your own self, whatever you see in your own life, and with other people. Perfectionism is great, and that's the beautiful thing with Virgo, is to purify and to perfect and to really pay attention to the details. For what? For the reason of making things better, you know? So that's very essential and that's very needed. But watch yourself if you are going overboard with that. You know, Pluto is still in retrograde and it has stopped. Pluto has stopped and it's going to go direct at the end of the month in about 2 weeks. So with Pluto, things can feel a bit obsessive compulsive, and with all this Virgo going on, it can very much be the obsessive compulsive nature of just digging too much into the details and just nitpicking everything. So I want to encourage you and invite you to purify and perfect and pay attention to the details of your life and your relationships and your jobs and your project, whatever it is that you're working on, whatever it is that is living for you in your life. Pay attention to the details. Don't get caught up in that too much. So that's just, one element, and things can feel too much when the sun's squaring Saturn. There's so much responsibility. There's so much to do. Mercury and Mars in Virgo, it's like, I need to do again until you burn yourself out. Until you burn yourself out. I need to do this and I need to do that and I haven't done. But wait a second. Are you feeling filled? How is your body feeling? Do you need more rest? Maybe you need to go to sleep a little bit earlier instead of just doing everything until you squeeze yourself out and dry, trying to accommodate everyone's requests. And especially those of you that have maybe a family and children, and it's just running around like a chicken with its head cut off. And there's so much to do. There's so many responsibilities. But where are your priorities? So I'm going to go back to that. I see it so much when people think, well, I'll just take care of everything and everyone. And the last thing on the priority list is your own health, is your own well-being, is to really do the things that nourish you, that make you feel good. Because then your cup is more full and you can be more of service in that way. That is a big message for me I have here for you today. And this is the new moon that is coming in Virgo on Tuesday. Can't remember the time right now. It's late at night up on the west coast here in North America. It's going to be on the 20th of September in other places in the world. And again, new moon in Virgo. So first of all, we're coming to this is the new moon after we had the new moon after the eclipse. So we're looking at this full cycle, right? We had the full moon a couple of weeks ago. Now we entering the new moon, the next new moon that we're having right after the eclipse, new moon eclipse on August 21st. So much happened, right? This past month. And spoke about this last week, the doors that are opening, the revelations, the epiphanies, the new choices that are in front of us that we know that we need to make, that the adjustments that we need to make. With Virgo, it's so much about the adjustments and the refinement. That's why this integration is so important. And we are in the Virgo season. We are in the Virgo season now, you guys, because especially with this new moon coming. New moon, sun and moon are in Virgo. We already have Mercury in Virgo, which is its natural home sign. So that puts our minds in the mindset of what can be better. Let me look at what can I adjust, what can I refine. There's more integration happening mentally really integrating, realizing, really seeing what needs to be perfected, what needs to be purified, what needs to be different. How can I be of service to myself, in my relationships, with other people, to life? How can I be of service to life? By purifying myself, by purifying my mind. This is a good time now for the purification of the mind, for the purification of our thoughts, our beliefs, our perceptions of ourselves and of life. Virgo is the purifier, is the one that can take something and turning into something else. And then we have, it's like the seed that we plant the seed, and then a few months later we harvest. That's Virgo. What are you harvesting right now? If you don't like the harvest that is in front of you, what needs to change so you can harvest something else? Because if you plant the seeds of tomatoes, and then you come and you harvest tomatoes and you say, well, but I want cucumbers. Well, plant the seed of a cucumber. You can expect to harvest cucumbers if you're planting seeds of tomatoes. Same thing with your mind. Same thing in your life. What are the seeds that you are planting? If you want to be healthier, you've got to plant the seeds of health. If you want better relationships, you need to plant those seeds. Well, how do you do that? That's what's happening right now. That's the new moon. How do I do that? In Virgo, it's reality. You got to look at the details. You've got to look at what's going on in front of you, and then know, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what needs to change. These are the seeds that I need to plant. This new moon is the opportunity, the invitation after the new moon eclipse that we had on the 21st of August is now, if there are new seeds, if there are different seeds that you want to plant, please do so. Please do so, because you have a better clarity. You are more connected to your heart. You are more connected to your heart desires, not so much the head and analyzing everything. Mercury and Virgo can very much be analyzing. You don't have to analyze it though. You have it in your heart. You have it in your heart. And what you want to think about and what you need to be clear about is, what are the seeds that I'm planting? I want oranges. Plant oranges, don't plant apples. So if you're happy with your harvest right now, excellent. Then you can ask yourself, well, how can I better that? Maybe I want to have a bigger harvest next time. What needs to be adjusted? Sometimes it's not changing everything completely, but it's just making a few changes and adjustments. Maybe I need to give it my soil more water. Maybe I need to change something about the soil. Maybe I need to put more compost. It's just like all those little things in life. And maybe you're looking at your relationships. What needs to be adjusted in the relationship? What changes can make the relationship better? So it doesn't mean that, I have to walk away, I have to discard what's in front of me, but just some adjustments. So there's communication that needs to happen, right? With the other person, whatever the relationship is. What kind of communication are we having? Is it grounded? Is it communication that is really grounded in understanding and listening to one another? That was the eclipse, opening our hearts, really listening to our hearts, coming with an open heart to every interaction, to every communication, living with an open heart. Open your hearts to yourself. Okay, and what needs to be adjusted in order for you to do that? So new moon in Virgo party. Yes, reality. Paying attention to the details of your life. What's really amazing is that Venus moving into Virgo just a day before the new moon. So we're having a lot of Virgo energy, a lot of it, with all of our personal planets in the sign of Virgo. With Venus going into Virgo, that's all of our personal planets in Virgo. Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, all in Virgo. Okay, that's something to really pay attention to and to feel the energy of Virgo. The purification, the diligence. Really, Virgo is very good about the diligence of life. Like, be diligent about what's important to you. Be diligent about your priorities. And start by putting yourself on top of the priority list. Not from a selfish place, but from what I explained earlier. The more your cup is full, the more you can be of service. The better you are in all areas of life. In your relationships, with your children, with your partners, with your business partners, with your neighbors, with your boss, with your co-workers, with your employees, with everything that you do in life. And but Virgo is leading us to Libra. That's the sign before Libra. Libra is the sign of relationship. Before we can really enter into cohesive, harmonious, beautiful relationships, we've got to be in the Virgo stage of integrating, the integration of oneself, the digestion of what needs to be digested, assimilation, and then making the priorities, taking care of ourselves, be healthy, purify oneself, and then we go into the stage of relationships, and relationships that are based on this mutual diligence, the mutual devotion. Virgo is very much a devotional sign. It's very much devotional. Being devoted to yourself, being devoted to life, to your well-being, to your health, and being devoted to being of service. And then again, the question to ask ourselves is, what is service? Changing our perceptions about that, changing our perception that taking care of yourself, putting yourself on the top of the priority is selfish or not even necessary. We are shifting this right now. This is the new paradigm. Understanding that everything stems from the self. And all of your life and everything around you, everything that is outside of you, is merely a reflection and a result of your state of self. And so Virgo is always the invitation to purify, to cleanse. This is a great time to do a cleanse. This is a great time to get on your practice, your yoga practice or whatever your practice is that make you feel healthy, that helps you feel really good and in your well-being. That's the time. That's the time in Virgo. It's for that. So that's the new moon happening on Tuesday, and then Venus also today and tomorrow is moving right through the north node of the moon. So that's a big sigh of relief. The north node of the moon in Leo, and Venus is just finishing in Leo there, about to go into Virgo. So it's a reminder. Venus on the north node is like moving in the direction of harmony and beauty and peace. So what brings you harmony? What brings you peace? And that goes back to the Virgo, what to do, what are your priorities? And Venus also crossing on the north node is our relationships. And relationships right now are so, I've been saying this over and over again, they're so on the forefront of our awareness and our consciousness, because the more we come together in a healthy way, the more united we are, the more strength and power we have as a collective. And so Venus is moving through the north node, or on the north node of the moon, really is bringing our attention to that. And whatever is occurring in your relationships right now and what needs to be adjusted, what is needed for more harmony, more peace, more clarity, more beauty, all of that is coming up. All of it is coming up. So I want to invite you and encourage you not to get frustrated and not to feel overwhelmed. Oh, this is too much. Take it one step at a time. Virgo is also, it's an earth sign. It's grounded. It has patience. It has patience. Pluto has stopped in Capricorn. The goal, I have the vision. Be patient. Maybe it's going to take a little bit of time. It's okay. Diligence. Okay, all of those things, Virgo is really reminding us of that. I do want to say, though, that this new moon was something really interesting that is occurring. That is, first of all, there's in conjunct to Uranus, an exact one, 27 degrees of Virgo. Uranus is 27 degrees Aries. There might, again, the unpredictability of Uranus that can come up to show you what needs to be perfected, what needs to be purified. How do I need to reorganize my priorities? It may come through this electrifying force of Uranus, of waking up, of showing you you've got to wake up. This needs to change, and it's a very uncomfortable, very challenging, kind of like, I don't know what to do with the inconjunct to Uranus. Don't be afraid to change what you need to change. Don't be afraid to do things differently. Don't be afraid to reinvent what needs to be reinvented in your life. And then another element in this new moon is that Mercury is opposing Neptune. Exactly. Mercury in Virgo, Neptune is in Pisces. Kind of goes back to what I started talking about at the beginning. Reality check versus, you know what, I let me just live in denial and delusion. Mercury in Virgo is very diligent. It's very, like I said, nitpicky, looking at the details in reality, day-to-day, practical. very practical. And Neptune in Pisces can be the complete opposite, just like, fantasy. Oh, you know, it's all gonna happen, or I'm just gonna sit here and it's all gonna happen. Maybe I can just check out and check out from reality and it's all gonna happen. No, the balance, right? Again, keep the vision strong, keep your dreams alive and in your heart, yet do the things day to day on the here and now, the practical things that you need to do in order to move into the ideal of Pisces, into the ideal of your beautiful, inspirational image. Your spiritual practice right now is very important. Your meditation, your yoga practice, or whatever your spiritual practice is that is in day to day. Like day to day, I sit and meditate. Day to day, I do my practice. Yeah, that's a great example of, okay, that doesn't mean that the vision is going to materialize right here and now after I open my eyes, but I'm taking the steps, the diligent steps day to day that I need to take in order to create this ideal. And don't give up. Neptune and Pisces can be like, I just want to give up. Don't give up. Stay diligent. All this Virgo energy is really helping us to stay diligent, to stay practical, to really look at what needs to be done. Virgo is what needs to be done, and do it. And just do it. If you've been feeling a little bit out of sorts, depleted, confused, out of it, what the heck is going on, overwhelmed, all of that is so, and there's so much coming into your life, nonstop, right? It feels like nonstop. Just we're taking a deep breath right now in this new moon in Virgo with all of our personal planets moving into Virgo. It's this, all right, clarity. I can go. What do I need to do? I have the motivation. I have all the steps I need to take. Please take it. Do it. And purify what needs to be purified in your life. It really is up to each and every one of us. And like I said at the beginning, together, when we come together in that way, of course, we can bring life to this grand vision that we have of a better world, of a much more harmonious world. North Node in Leo. Expression, self-expression, and love, open heart, when we can actually live with the curiosity and the innocence of a child, and this childlike joy and happiness and laughter and creativity. That's where we're moving towards. But there are some things that we need to purify before we can get there fully and completely as humanity. Like maybe you're watching this and you say, oh, I already live this way. Yeah, great. But we want that for the world. So we can be of service by really living as that, by really being the change we wish to see. All this Virgo energy right now is like, be the change you wish to see in the world. Be diligent about it. Perfect what needs to be perfected, and just go for it and just do it. Don't get lost. Don't get lost right now. Thank you so much. That is my message for you for today. If you are liking this video and other videos, then please subscribe to my channel and share this video with those that you think may benefit from this message. I really appreciate the support, and it helps so much. Again, yes, subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more of these videos. You can sign up for my newsletter as well, and to get these notifications, these videos, and so much more right into your inbox. And you can find that on my website, noalakshmi.com. You can book your personal soul signature reading to go more in depth into your own personal chart. And I also offer one-on-one work, personal work, if you would like to take your life to the next level, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. All of that, noalakshmi.com. And my new book that I just released a month ago, Master Your Life with Love. And this book really offers amazing tools to create the most extraordinary and loving relationship with yourself, and really upgrade your life from the inside out. Master Your Life with Love, and you can find that in the link below. You can order the book on Amazon or on Kindle. And what else? That's it. I am sending you so much love and so much light. Stay awesome and stay beautiful. Stay strong in these crazy chaotic times that we may experience right now. Sending you all the best, sending all my prayers to the world right now. And I will see you next time. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend and happy new moon. Sat now.